Good morning and welcome to Bowerman's Nose on Dartmoor, where it is about 04:30. And in the words of Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam, what does the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. So yes, it's about 04:30. We're a couple of days after summer solstice, so sunrise is ridiculously early. They're going to be quite long days. So my alarm call was set for 0300, 3 a.m, which terrifies me most of the time. Last night, just the thought of getting up at 3 a.m. is just horrifying, to be honest. As committed as I am to doing dawn shoots, something not very nice about 3 a.m. But I set my alarm, I got up, had a cup of coffee, drove here. The skies were looking quite nice, actually, so I feel quite positive at the moment. Come mid-afternoon, I'll be feeling awful, but hopefully today, this morning, because you say, will have been a good morning of photography, and I'll have rejuvenated my Photography Mojo a little bit. So what do I mean by my Photography Mojo? Well, really, it's kind of my, it's a personal thing. It's my personal get up and go, I think it is. I've kind of lost a little bit of that passion and excitement for landscape photography. I just haven't felt recently that real kind of oomph, that constant thinking about landscape photography, planning shoots, and then having the desire and the motivation to get up and go out. So obviously coming here required quite a lot of motivation. So I'm trying to re-kickstart that get up and go, that mojo for landscape photography. But why do I think it's left me in the first place? I think it all really started when lockdown kicked in. Because obviously as soon as lockdown started, you couldn't go out and take landscape photographs. So I no longer spent a lot of my free time planning landscape photography trips and then going out and taking pictures. That all just disappeared overnight. So I was spending a lot more time at home with the family. So there's obviously a benefit there to lockdown. But, I think I would say I forgot about landscape photography. I was still doing stuff for my channel and writing some blog articles and doing book reviews and stuff like that. So I was still doing it, but that kind of intense focus that I used to put into my landscape photography when I was having evening meals and having a glass of wine and having not having to get up so early in the morning. It was all very nice and all very relaxing and actually really nice to spend time with the family. But because I got out of that cycle of planning and going out and taking landscape photographs, when the restrictions were finally eased a little bit and I was able to go out, I was really surprised by myself that I wasn't out there that very first morning out taking landscape photographs. I thought about it and I realised, oh no, I'll just stay in. I kind of lost that rhythm, that kind of get up and go, that kind of photographic mojo. And then so it took me a good few days before I went out, a good few days after lockdown restrictions were eased before I went out with a camera. And then, there's obviously been this fantastic spell of great weather here in the UK. It's just been great for lockdown, being out in your back garden, but it doesn't exactly motivate my landscape photography. So I think the lockdown had got me out of the routine. I'd lost a little bit of my focus when it came to my landscape photography. And then there's Landscape Photographer of the Year, a competition that I've been entering for the last few years, but never managed to get to the shortlist stage. Now, why this competition is important to me is because it's been a great source of inspiration for my landscape photography. I remember going years and years back when the competition first started, travelling all the way to London on the train to go and look at the pictures hanging up in the exhibition. And I just thought these pictures were amazing, and it really inspired my photography. I thought, I have to go out there. I think I could capture maybe images like that. So it's always been a great source of inspiration. I've always dreamed about getting in the book. And I know to some people it's silly, it's only a competition, and it's so fickle. Anyway, I've talked about competitions myself, but I've always wanted to get in the book in landscape photography of the year. That's to take nothing away from what I'm hugely proud of for getting images commended in Scottish Landscape Photography of the Year. I've spoken about that before as well, and I'm hugely proud of that. But I think the Landscape Photography of the Year competition is something, the book I've always wanted to get in. So I think when I got the rejection email this year, as it does every year, I think just for a few weeks after, it kind of knocks my confidence a bit. I know it shouldn't, and I try not let it. But it just knocked me down just a little bit. But I think I know what the crux of the problem is, and to be honest, it's not my lockdown hair, which is quite bushy at the moment, isn't it? I think the crux of the problem is that my own standards of photography have gone up over the years, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to meet those standards. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. When you first start out in photography, virtually every picture you take is better than the last one. I remember I used to go back, and if I had a shot in focus, that was me generally happy. But over the years, I kind of started to develop a personal style, or at very least a standard that I want my images to be at. And it's becoming increasingly hard to meet that standard. And that's not to say that the standard is too hard, but I'm looking for certain conditions, lighting, those kind of things, and that doesn't always happen. You can go out quite a lot, and you don't get the conditions you want, and that means you can come back from a shoot feeling a little bit despondent. Now, I never come back from being outside. I mean, this morning has been a great example of just how wonderful being outdoors can be, and I always have that level of satisfaction. But the photography can be a bit more challenging, and I think when I'm not going out on a regular basis and capturing images that I want to put in my portfolio, that can be quite difficult, and it can impact your photo mojo as such. But I've got to be realistic, and you have to be realistic. You can't come out all the time and expect to get amazing images. And I've been out a few weeks, coming out in a few weeks. I've been out over the last few weeks, and I've been out in some really nice conditions, and I've got some quite pleasing conditions, and I've got images that I've been quite happy with, at least enough to publish on my blog, but nothing I want to put on my portfolio. So, I think at the end of the day, because photography is becoming increasingly challenging for me, it's becoming increasingly difficult to become satisfied with the images that I capture. So how am I going to get my photography mojo back? Well, by doing things like this, actually getting up and going out. It's all very well feeling a bit unmotivated and, getting a bit too relaxed at home. Just got to get up and go. And, in terms of the photography, it'll just come naturally. You can't really force it. You can't really try not get sort of disappointed when you don't capture great images. I mean, I've come out this morning. Yeah, I got up at the crack of dawn. It was a horrendous alarm call. But I've really enjoyed my time out here. Okay, I probably didn't get any portfolio class images, but I got images that got my creative juices going. I enjoyed spending time with a camera, and that photo mojo is just going to come back naturally. And the other thing that I've been doing, socially distanced, of course, is meeting up with other photography friends, going out, sharing the experience of photography, being inspired by other people's photography as well. All this helps rejuvenate and get my sort of photography get up and going again. But I wanted to share my thoughts with you, because I hope it might, connect or resonate with you, because I'm quite sure every photographer goes through a dip like this at some point. And, it's important to know that you will come out the other end. And, and if you watch content like myself and on YouTube, and you see us go out and having a jolly good time and taking out pictures, it all may look rosy, but it's not always that way. It is difficult. Not just the process of creating videos, but actually capturing images. You only see a snapshot, a snippet of what goes on when the rest of the time when we're out with the camera. But, like I say, trips like out this morning have really been beneficial, really got me excited and happy to be back out with my camera again.